Let's start with adding similar fractions or fractions with the same denominator. If we have this, we simply operate our numerators and just copy the denominator. So for 3/7 plus 2/7, we simply copy the denominator 7, then operate the numerators. That would be 3 plus 2 equals 5. Applying the same concept to 5/9 minus 2/9, we copy the denominator 9, then operate the numerators 5 minus 2, which is 7. Now to add or subtract dissimilar fractions or fractions that have different denominators, you may definitely do LCD if you can remember that. Or you may use this algorithm. That is, we simply multiply the denominators and have those products there at the numerators. So applying this algorithm, when we have 2/3 plus 1 over 5, denominator for our answer this time would be 15 by multiplying the denominators 3 and 5. Then as for the numerator, we are to multiply the numerator 2 and the denominator 5, so that would give us 10. Then we are to copy whatever operation is. In this case, that would be plus. Then we would get the product of B and C, or in this case, we would multiply 3 and 1, giving us 3. Thus, we now have 10 plus 3, which is 13, all over 15. And so for 3/5 minus 1/2, we'll now have the denominator of the answer, which is 10, from multiplying the denominators 5 and 2. And as for numerator, we will be multiplying 3 and 2, that would give us 6, and copy whatever the operation is, which is minus in this case. Then we will get the product of 5 and 1, which is 5. And so we now have 6 minus 5 all over 10, or 1/10. Let's now have whole number plus or minus a fraction. The algorithm would be, we are to multiply the whole number to the denominator of the fraction. That's why we have there AC at the numerator. Then we copy whatever the denominator is. In this case, that would be C. Then we are to copy whatever the operation is, and as well as the numerator that owns that denominator. In that case, B. To picture this out, let's have the example 2 plus 1/5. As discussed, our denominator for the answer will just be 5. Then we are to multiply the whole number 2 to the given denominator 5, so that would be 10. Then we are to copy the given operation, which is plus. Then copy as well the numerator that owns the given denominator. That was the B in the algorithm, which is in this problem 1. Thus, we now have 10 plus 1 all over 5, which is 11 over 5. For the benefit of others, let's convert this improper fraction 11/5 to a mixed fraction. That is, we simply divide 11 by 5, and knowing that we have 2 5s in 11, our whole number here is 2, but 2 5s will just give us 10, and we have here 11. Therefore, we have a remainder 1, and so our fraction here will just be 1/5. So for visual learner, this is what we did. One way of adding a whole number to a fraction will be simply by attaching the fraction to its whole number. Just like our 2 plus 1/5 here, the answer will be 2 and 1/5. But do not rely always with this kind of algorithm, because what if our fraction to be added is an improper one, like 7/3, which is to be added to 5. If you have this, first convert the improper fraction 7/3 into its mixed form, so that would be 2 and 1/3. This time, we can finally add the whole numbers here. That would be 5 and 2, giving us 7. Then attach the fraction 1/3. So our answer would be 7 and 1/3. Now, using the algorithm that we discussed earlier, we now have to multiply the whole number 5 to the denominator 3, so that would give us 15, plus the numerator that owns the denominator 3, which is 7, all over the same denominator, which is 3. So that would give us 22 over 3, which is in mixed form, 7 and 1/3. There you go. Different ways, yet both gave us the same answer. So let's continue using this algorithm in answering 4 minus 3/7. So the denominator here will just be the same thing as 7, and we multiply the whole number 4 and the denominator 7, giving us 28. Copy the operation minus as well as the numerator 3, which gives us 25/7 or 3 4/7. Another way of doing this is extracting a fraction form from a whole number. That is, if we are to subtract 3/7 from 4, we just have to extract a whole from 4, which is 7/7 or 1, leaving us with just 3 and 7/7. Now it's simpler for us to operate these two because we can just copy right away the whole number 3 and subtract 3/7 from the fraction there, 7/7, which gives us 4/7. Note that for the algorithm of whole number plus or minus a fraction, which was the a plus or minus b over c, is the same thing with the algorithm of fraction plus or minus a whole number, which is in this case x over y plus or minus z. So for 4/5 plus 2, we just have to copy the given denominator, which is 5. Copy as well the numerator 4 and the operation plus. Then we are to multiply the whole number 2 to the denominator 5, which gives us 10. Now we have 14/5 or 2 4/5. If you're confused on how we get -17, just click the gear icon there at the upper right corner of your screen and you will be redirected to the video that discusses operations on integers. Click the next video to know how to multiply and divide fractions.